Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we've got my third place Digimon Blue Garurumon build that I played in Top Cut's 250 plus webcam event this last tournament. Super fun event, and honestly I think it's like the largest NA like Digimon event that's ever happened, so placing third in that is awesome, and it's a really good time. It was a good tournament. We went 7-1, only losing to Claudio, who got undefeated. And we're also going to have his deck list and an interview with him on the channel tomorrow as of recording. So that should be awesome to get his deck list and his thoughts as well. And also, all of my matches were recorded. So at the same time this video goes up, there should be the live stream, an edited version of the live stream, just to go over all my matches for people who are interested in that. And then also we have in the deck list, or in the description, the pure deck list that I ran, and then also a budget version, just so in case that is an issue for you guys. I think this deck is really affordable though, especially without like we do run Omnimon spoilers, but it's not needed in this deck. You don't have to see it. It's just like kind of a plus card. I saw more in my life than I actually played him. Like that was the best thing about him. But let's just start talking about the deck with first our eggs. We've got 4 Upamon. We're only running 4 because we could run 5, but I really like the consistency of seeing Upamon every time. Easily the best blue one, and we get just free card draw for, if your opponent has a Digimon out with no devolution sources underneath it, which is easy. You don't even have to build around that. Your opponent's going to have to do that every once in a while anyways, so just being able to get card draw from that is great. And I only ran out of eggs once, and it was like the turn, like I played it, so like I won on the turn that I got the last egg from the deck to my raising area, so it's not a big deal, and I think you're fine with running 4, and having this consistency of seeing this guy is fine. If you don't have 4 of these guys, you can definitely use like the other blue ones as well, but I think best scenario, you have 4 of this guy. Alright, going into our rookies, we're running 15 rookies, so we have 4 Gabumon. Honestly one of the best ones in the game, but just specifically for this deck, either like you draw cards for either digivolving him or just playing him for 3. So if you have like some awkward turns where you don't know what to do, you can just play this for 3 and then get a card draw out of it, and it's just really good. We also have Garurumon here. This one's amazing too, just being able, so it has inheritable that every time on deletion you get 1 memory for free, so you can just put this down and then you put a blocker on top of him, and then not only are you threatening to so if your opponent's like at 0 memory on their turn right now, you can kind of threaten like to turn it to your turn unexpectedly by having on a blocker. It's just really good, and like you can use it offensively. You put it against something that you know is going to swing in and then like die, then you get your memory back, and it's really good. We also have 4 of the vanilla one. If you were building the stack, definitely use Egman instead. It's really minor, but this guy isn't a this guy has the same name as this one because they're both Garurumons. So if you have if you go mid-range and like do a rookie rush, part of the reason this deck is so good is because you can kind of pivot to rookie rush in the later game. But being able to if you have a bunch of these guys out, if they play like Omnimon, you can pop all of your Garurumon for both sides, and so having the name diversity is a little bit more important. Even though I like the art, I picked this because I like the art, but when I was playing the turn, I'm like, oh shoot, I should totally have a Legmon just so I can't get like all my Gonmons popped at the same time. But not a big issue. And then lastly, we have 3 Gabumon here. I don't think this one's as good. Every time you swing, you get to trash 1 card underneath one of your opponent's Digimon. 5 or less? Yeah, just one of their devolution sources. So it's okay, and it can kind of help Upamon at times, but it wasn't super necessary. I think I did it like once or twice the entire tournament, and it wasn't impactful either. So it's something you can do though. But I think 15 is the right call. If you anything between, I'd say like 13 to 16 is a good call. I'd say keep these 8. These 8 are the ones you want to keep, and then you can even if you just want more vanillas, you're fine. And I think even running 16 is a good number, because for the tournament only 1 game did I not start with a rookie in my hand, and it was still fine. So I think just that consistency of seeing a rookie like every game 1, I think is worth it to run 15, 16 rookies for this, especially in a deck where it just gains a lot of card advantage, which this deck does. And then late game, if you think you can win on your next turn, you can just play a bunch of your cheap guys and go from there. So even if you don't like these Gabumons, you can also run Gabumon and the vanilla Egman as well, and I think that'd be a fine call. So those are our rookies. And then moving into our 4 drops, into our champions. So the main core of this deck are these Garurumons. These are from the promo box toppers, but it has this. It's a 2 Digivolve on a 3. But it has this one attacking if the Digimon has Garurumon in its name, trigger draw one, and for inheritable, which is really good in the sense like it's easy to get a Were Garurumon on top of this, or an Omni or a Mecha Garurumon. And this card draw is really important, especially since some of our cards on top can have multiple swings, and so being able to draw like twice with this is insane because it's not a once per turn inheritable. We also have 2 of this Garurumon. We could pump it up to 3 if you want to, but this one's insane as well. It is Garurumon, and then it is like part of the reason I don't like it is because if you have to hard cast this, it's 6, but it's still just an Evo for 2. And if you hard play it, you unsuspend one of your Digimon. So if you have like a bunch of energy unexpectedly, like let's say your opponent like drops an Omnimon to KO one of your cards, so you can't swing in. You just pay this for 6, and then you can unsuspend one of your Digimon that's already swing and lived a security attack and just go for game. Or like it's just a good card. I felt like 4 was definitely clunky. You can go up to 3 if you want. But it can definitely be really good. And I'm gonna put this card and this card over here real quick just to talk about later. But definitely a good card because it's on play that this card goes off. We run 4 Grizzlymon because like why not? He's a good blocker, and he works really well once again with the the Ganomon. Just once again, if you give this inheritable, like you get a memory when it dies. Putting it behind a blocker is insane, and then like obviously like against like more aggressive decks, having this guy just live and like be like pressure for a blocker is great. And then lastly, for our we've got 2 of these Vidramons. I think he's good. If you don't have him, you're fine. I don't think he's necessary, but he can have like some surprise winning formations where you can just say, if your opponent, like you just have like a rookie in your egg area, you can just play this on top of it, go for it, and then you can have like a dual attack, with your opponent not expecting that, right? This can just like pressure game. And one of the really cool things about this deck anyways is that there's a lot of potential for cards having dual attack, so you can unexpectedly win the game on the spot when your opponent's not expecting it. And that's like where the power of this deck is, just having that unexpected win condition when your opponent's not really expecting it. So I really like that idea, and like being able to surprise your opponent with a win like that is good. He's only 6k, which means that he can get popped from the first swing on security, but it's not terrible. It's okay if that happens. It's more of just like you can unexpectedly win yourself, but like without having to go too deep in the resources. If you don't have these guys though, you can definitely put in a Garurumon though, like this guy. Definitely put one of these guys in if you don't have it. I think it's fine, but if you have this guy, definitely run 1 or 2. Next up, we're going into our 5-drop. So we've got 3 of the Were Garurumons from the same promos that came with this 4-drop here, and he's really good. So it's Evo for 3. When attacking, once per turn, if your Digimon has a Garurumon devolution card, unsuspend this Digimon. So being able to so this gets dual attack in itself as long as you have a Garurumon underneath it, and then if you do, you draw every time you swing with this guy. So you get like 2 card draws if it lives both swings. And then also it has an inheritable. When you have 8 or more cards in your hand, this Digimon gains security attack +1. Which means you get an additional security attack, which is fine as well. So like just being able to like swing with this guy, untap it, and then swing with it again is good, especially if you already have this guy underneath it. So you get 2 swings every time you swing with it, which is good. And then there's some further combos with him later. So we're going to put one of these guys over here to talk about. We also have 2 of the starter deck Garurumons. He's just like a palette cleanser in a lot of ways. You can definitely run 4 of this guy if you want, but I just like the diversity of having this one. He's still a Were Garurumon, so this guy can still get the card draw from him. And then also he gives security attack to inheritable as long as your opponent has a card without any devolution sources as well. So it's kind of like the same idea, just like a mix-up of like either if you have a lot of cards in hand, or if your opponent has just like a bunch of like blockers or something else, you pressure that security attack +1 with this guy. And then also we have 2 Zudomon. You can definitely go up to 3 if you want, but he's just great, right? If your opponent just gives you a bunch of energy to do stuff, and you don't like playing him for 7 and like drawing 2 cards is really good, and then you can kind of go into like your big drops really easily. Like let's say like you need to like go into like Omnimon kind of scarily, like you can just play this, and then next turn you can go 3 and then 6 and go into your Omnimon. So if you're it's a good way if your opponent like does like a big do to blow up your board. He's a great way to recover. And he also has this really nice thing that when attacking, if your opponent has a Digimon with no sources underneath it, you gain 1 memory. So like especially like Omnimon, since Omnimon can have 2 swings, you can get 2 free memory back, or any of your other swings. Like we have for our 6 drops, we'll go real quick. We've got Metal Garurumon, super cool card. Being able to, so this is like the boss of the deck actually. So every time you swing with this guy, you get to play a 4 or a champion level or lower from the bottom of your deck, or bottom of this guy, right? So being able to just play cards for free in this deck, or in this game in general, is a lot of value. There's not a lot of free playing, and so the cards that do free play are fine, especially since any of your swings can do life damage, no matter if they're DP. So it's powerful. So like the combo that you really want is that you'd have Gobblemon underneath it, and then you have either of these Garurumons underneath it, and this Garurumon. And so you swing with this guy, and then you can you play one of your 3 drops or 4 drops underneath it. So Garurumon is easily the best one because you're able to untap this guy, and then you can, because when you play it, you untap one of your guys. So since you played it, you get to untap this, which means this guy has dual attack, which means that this is a security attack +1 if you have enough cards, and you're able to this guy can do 4 damage all by itself. You can also play Gobblemon with it, which is really nice. So you just get a free card draw, and then you have a 3 drop out. Like, these guys can't attack, but having like pressure for next turn is already very powerful. Garurumon, like the also kind of cool thing you can do with this card is that, let's say you have like just this chain here, you can have, or let's say you have Garurumon, right? You swing into something and it lives. You get the untap with this, you get the card draw with Garurumon, and then after that you can just evolve here, and then you get another swing, and you get another draw with this Garurumon, and you can play Gobblemon, so you get another card out and another card draw. Like, it's just like a lot of value you get with this combo. And if your opponent lets you do that, you can do it does really well. So a lot of synergies there, a lot of cool stuff, and I love this combo right here. And like part of the reason that this deck is really good is that it lets you pivot on what kind of playstyle you need to do. If your opponent's giving you a bunch of energy, you can play this chain and you get a bunch of swings, you get a bunch of cards on board, and you get a lot of draw, right? And if your opponent doesn't give you a lot of energy, you have all these rookies you can play, and you can kind of pressure them that way, and you can kind of go from that. So I think it has like a good matchup against like control decks and like aggro decks as well. Going into our other 6-drop, we have 2 Metal Seadramon. This was kind of a last-minute ad, but it saved my butt all day. It's just a really good 11-drop. Return on play, return up to 2 of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to their hand. This Digimon can't be blocked by your opponent's Digimon with no devolution cards. So like just being able to prevent your opponent from going lethal next turn is already good. And then sets up lethal for yourself too, because this guy can't be blocked by blocker cards if they have no security. As long as they don't have, like, if it's a blocker card with nothing underneath it, that is. But you can just do that. Like, let's say you kind of go wide with your board, and then you just drop this guy. You can probably, like, kind of go game on your opponent, and then, like, just being able to remove cards from their board means they can't do anything, like, impactful with attacks, which is really, really nice. So he's great. I hard casted him, like, once a game almost, or once a round almost. He was just that good, and he helped me out a bunch. And he combos also really well with the money card. We got Omnimon in this deck. We don't need him. If you don't have him, don't think you can't build this deck. You totally can. I have an Omnimon version without, or a deck without this card in it, and in the description below. Definitely, if you have 1 or 2, play 1 or 2 in this deck because he's still great. Just because, like, just this card existing in my security was like the best card. One of the reasons he is so good. But you can like hard cast this Metal Seadramon, right? And then, like, I've done this before. I did this against a Rookie Rush deck, where I hard casted this, put 2 of them back in their deck, or their hand, right? And then, like, the next turn, I was able to play, like, Omnimon, and then from there, like, swing, and then I was able to return the Metal Seadramon back to my hand, and I could just play it again and return the card. So just, like, that tempo is really, really cool. This is, like, the best card to return from your hand from Omnimon. And just having like another way to like another like 5 or 6 drop to go into it. I was also originally I was running. Let me see. I got it right here. I was originally running the Star Deck 4, but the 4 Evo cost for this card was just too expensive most of the time. If you have this guy, definitely run him. If you don't have Omnimon, it could be a different choice. But like it was just kind of tough for me to justify having that extra cost. 3 was like the sweet spot for doing stuff on my opponent's turn. So or doing stuff with my own memory while still being my turn. So that's what I really did. So those are those, and then we just have our extra cards. We've got 4 Hammer Sparks, because why not? This card's broken, especially since like we draw so many cards. Going -1 to get 1 memory is easy with this deck. It's so easy, or having it in our life to potentially like end our opponent's turn unexpectedly. Just a great card. I love this card so much, and it's great. It's a good card. And then lastly, we've got 4 mats, but these are the starter deck mats, so these are only costing 2. I know some people like the 4-drop one, and maybe I should experiment with that one as well, just being able to, for 4, make it so that I have 3 energy, so I can do like my Evo plays on my turn. But I think I like this one more just because it's cheaper. It's only 2 energy. You can help fill up those like weird turns. It's also easier to play this card, like to justify playing this card on for like Vidramon, because Vidramon does need a Tamer. But the biggest thing about this card is that it makes your opponent play weird. Being like your opponent does not want to give you extra memory, and so they will play around that all game, right? Just making it so your opponent plays suboptimally are like some of the times like you don't like that one memory doesn't make a big difference to you, right? But your opponent does not know that, and they will play around it, and they will play awkwardly, and you'll set you up for success in a lot of ways. So really like this guy, and like sometimes I had like 3 of these out once. Just getting like 3 extra memory every turn is good because it's not like the 4-drops doesn't set it to 3. You just get that 1 extra memory as long as your opponent doesn't have has a Digimon out with a devolution source, and it really just get around like if they go to like for example if they play like a blocker. And they hardcast a blocker from one memory to 5. It goes to 4. This brings it to 5, and that extra memory from there is more impactful than just having the regular blue mat that just sets it to 3. So I like this card. I definitely recommend trying it out. I think the other mat, Tamer, for blue is fine as well. And if you want that one, you can. But this is the one I really like. I think it's great. And that's really the deck list for it. Let me know what you guys think about this list. I'll definitely have, once again, deck list for this, the deck list for the budget version, and all of the matches in the description below, and that will really be it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.